Hello, hello. Just gave you a quick a quick taste, a hint of who my guest is. I'm going to hold out for you for a minute and welcome you today to episode 55 of the Celebrity Customer Experience, Riffs with me, Jill Raff, where we riff on anything and everything employee experience and customer experience, from EX to CX, employee experience to customer experience, because I'm truly obsessed with the concept that employee experience creates customer experience. And I also believe that your restaurant, your hospitality, your hotel, your business, any kind, your business will increase its revenue by engaging committed and loyal employees as well as customers. And of course, it begins from the inside and the top down. So welcome today. And just a quick question. A lot of people are like, well, why are you calling your show the Celebrity Customer Experience? Because I believe that everyone deserves the same treatment, pampering, the same over the top, above and beyond service that a celebrity gets when they are a customer. And we all know what that's like. So today we're going to be speaking about why CX is no mystery. And before I bring on my awesome guest, I want to remind everyone to please comment if you're watching live with us today on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook. You can comment and I will see that comment and show it on the screen, and we can engage in conversation and respond to you. If you're watching the replay, thank you. And please tag my guest, Debbie Hart, and myself, and we'll be able to engage with you on that afterwards. So without further ado, I'm going to bring Debbie in. Debbie, welcome today.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. I'm so really so excited and looking forward to diving into what you do, because I do think that customer experience is no mystery, but the idea of mystery shopping, which you specialize in, is a very interesting one. So a little bit about Debbie, so you understand the background, right? The basis of what she's doing, you'll understand and you'll hear. Debbie started her experience in customer experience in 2012, specializing in mystery shopping. And she'll define for you exactly what that is. She partners with owners and general managers in restaurants, hotels, retail, spas, and car dealerships. When you partner with the Hart Experience, you get the most efficient, effective, and affordable customer experience program. Debbie's background is in hotel and restaurant management, and her goal is to make a difference by helping business owners improve their customer experience and increase their revenue. So Debbie, how about just define for us, for people who don't know, what does mystery shopping mean anyway? What is the mystery part?
The mystery part is that you are basically going into a location, secretive, I guess you would say, and you go in there and you evaluate the whole process of the business from the beginning to the end. I always say it's the person that picks up the phone to, the service, the quality of food or the quality of product. You obviously don't go to the back of the house, but you do check out things like restrooms and cleanliness, which at this point in time, that's a big thing. So
yeah, right. So we're getting a reverb or an echo for some reason. Okay, let's try that. So let's start. We'll go more into your proprietary process or your system later. But let's talk a little bit about your beginning, your backstory, kind of what lit your fire in your journey to focus on the service businesses, on hospitality, F&B in particular, that whole realm. Where did that come from?
Well, being in the hospitality industry pretty much my whole life, hotels, restaurant management, actually started at the bottom. I've done event planning. So I pretty much was involved in that whole customer experience always. And I was on the other end of the mystery shopper on numerous times as a manager. So I could see what things, my team needed to work on, and, good and bad. There's always good and bad. So that kind of pushed me forward to see, what I could do to help that industry. At this point in time, I actually believe that customer experience has gotten worse. Not even necessarily during COVID. COVID's part of it, but I think always that it's just in the last few years in general, it's just not as good as it could be. And I have a passion for making it better.
Mm-hmm. And I don't know if it's coming from my mic. Sorry, there's a bit of noise. I'm trying to fix that. So what are, there's a reason, a root cause behind the fact that the customer experience has gotten worse. What do you think the pressing problems are that you're seeing in the workplace that is creating that effect?
I think it starts with training. I think that training your team is the top priority. I think it's poor management. I think that leaders, CEOs, business owners, not managers, business owners, don't see the picture. I mean, they're busy, they have other lives, they don't spend a lot of time in the actual business, or they have numerous locations. So to even get around to those locations, maybe they go once a month. That's not going to tell the whole picture. So management just needs to be on top of it. If they're not doing the correct training, what happens is that numerous times managers will say to the owners, "Oh, it's my team's fault. They're not doing what they're supposed to be doing." When I look at that as a customer experience specialist, I look at that as like the manager's not teaching the things that need to be done. You have to educate your team. And it's not necessarily, it has a lot to do with hiring. You have to hire the right people. But I've always said, and even when I was before I became a manager, was that you can train people with skills, to become a better server. However, customer experience is different. There are some people that are back of the house people, and they're not front of the house. And you need to, when you're hiring, going through your hiring process, you need to interview. Those are the questions you should be asking.
Yes. You touched on, you mentioned the word educate, which I love, because that's the first step in the foundation of my inside out framework, my process. And I think the big difference ties in right there with educating and hiring. And in those 2 points that you mentioned, I agree 100% and feel that when you do hire, you need to not only train the mechanics of the job, the functional skill training, but you need to educate them first before you get to that. Because once you first educate them on your core values, your vision, what you stand for, how you expect people to engage with each other as employees and with your end customers, when you cover those foundational elements of who you are as a company, your brand culture is established, and you let them know this is the culture that we have here. Either you are a part of that or you're not, but it helps you save a lot of money in your hiring process and in your training process, and ultimately in the turnover cost by educating them first on those elements. And then maybe you'll find out this person really isn't the right fit for our company. And then you save all the money on doing the hard training on the mechanical skills. And I think that would help eliminate a lot of that.
Right. Well, and the other thing is you're exactly right. It's like some people just aren't cut out for the customer experience business. The one thing is that customer experience starts on the phone. So a lot of times you have call centers and you have people picking up the phone. Those people need to be trained as well as the people that you may have on the floor or they're in front of your house, because they're the first impression. And I firmly believe that your first impression of your business starts right when that phone rings.
Yeah, 100%. We are so in sync. You're hitting on all these same keywords. So interestingly, my background is growing up in the McDonald's franchise, McDonald's family, from the very early days. My parents opened store number 150 and in 1959, so 4 years into the business establishment as a corporation. And my first job was at the age of 7. And now looking back, I call it director of customer first impression, because I was too little to do anything else. My sisters were older and they got to work on the shake machines. But I was relegated to answering the phone. And I was so excited to answering the phone. And I was trained how to answer the phone. That when I picked up the phone, McDonald's is your kind of place. That was the tagline at the time. So it was, McDonald's is your kind of place. May I help you, please? And now I realize how much is packed into that one sentence, right? That one question, and how we engage. It's the brand, it's being polite, it's letting them know we're there to serve them. And it's that first impression. It's that phone call is so critical. And I think you are 100% right that today people just don't even give that a consideration.
No.
And to me, it's whether someone's going to want to continue. And it's like, dang, if you're so rude or can't be bothered on the phone, then why am I doing business with you?
Right.
Find that.
I think a lot of times when they're in the hiring process, they look at a position that answers the phone as a minimal position, a receptionist, whatever you want to call that. They pay them very minimal. So they don't feel like there's any training and needed involved or in that at all. So
right. It's pretty amazing. And so what do you think the consequences are that you're seeing in these organizations that are struggling with these things?
Well, I think that, like I said, I think it's going to be a lot of education. I noticed I did a poll on LinkedIn recently. I just asked the question on how much training are you actually giving your employees? Are you giving them a month, a week's training? Are you giving them 3 days? Are you giving them no training? Most of it was, they were giving 3-day training. That's not enough, I don't think. In most any industry, that's not enough. I think that I think that ongoing training is super important. When I was in the industry as a manager, even as a line employee, we always had pre-shift meetings. We always had some type of meeting to, it doesn't have to be a long meeting. It can be something simple. It's communication. You have to communicate with your staff. As far as, when I'm working with my clients, I try to explain to them when we're doing mystery shops, you have to review these with your staff, because if you don't review these with your staff doesn't know what the problems are. And if you just start, if you come off negative, or you're saying you should be doing this, you should be doing that. No, it's a team that needs to get together and, either if it's something that's drastic, yes, you want to educate that one person, but educate your whole team with that report. That's why pay a company to come out, do a mystery shop for you, and then you don't, utilize those improvements that you need. So.
Yeah, it's kind of pointless just to have data unless you're going to use it to accomplish something with it, right? To use it towards something. It reminds me of, so I'm a real estate agent as well. And one of the things I think that I bring to the picture is that I'm able to kind of cross-pollinate from these different industries. And so it always reminds me that there was a coach that I had there, and she always said, we're in this class together and everybody's busy taking notes and it's great, but don't go home and then just stick it on the bookshelf. Like, you'll have a really brilliant and educated, intelligent bookshelf, but it's not going to help if you're not putting it into work. Just if you stick it aside and that's it, it's kind of pointless. And like you say, they've gone to the trouble of bringing you in and hiring you to really see what's going on, not what they think's going on, but to dive in. And tell us a little bit about what it is that you look for. What are your people looking for when you go in? Because you started at the top, and it's a stat that I use all the time. Bain & Company, 80% of company owners, executives think they're delivering a superior customer service, while only 8% 100% of customers agree. So I would imagine your mystery shops really show the reality to the owners. So what are the kind of things that they look for? What are the things that you have
Well,
in your system?
and the first thing is that, when we get a client, we always look at their website. A lot of times I'm seeing that websites aren't updated, they don't have the correct products on it. They don't have the new services on, things that they're offering. Those things are really important. Maybe they're missing a phone number. Maybe they're missing, just information. So we first look at the websites. Then you're either making a reservation if you're in a restaurant or a hotel. You're making a reservation. You're always contacting someone before the actual visit.
Mm-hmm.
Then when you go to the actual location, you're taking the front of the house. What is the front of the house doing when you're walking in the door? Somebody greeting you, or you're not being greeted. Then you go to the sales, point of it. If it's a product, or if you're in a restaurant, you're checking out the food, you're checking out, it's about presentation, it's about value, it's about quality. And you want it, a presentation is a lot. I mean, it doesn't have to be huge portions of food. And most customers will pay to have better service and better experience and quality food. That it's a known fact that about 80% of the people say we'd much prefer going a longer distance than the place down the street, because we get better service and we pay a little more, but that's okay.
That's right.
So once you get your quality of food, then you look for cleanliness, attitude of staff, those types of things. My big thing this month, or last month I should say, was restrooms. And I am amazed at that with the COVID, that restrooms are a top priority. And we're looking at, we're walking in the door and we're looking at, yes, is your restaurant clean? That's great. Is your bar clean, or your hotel clean, or your rooms clean? But what about those lobby restrooms? What about, you're going to an office and you're using a public restroom, or you're going to a restaurant and you're using their restrooms? And it's a big thing now that, cleanliness, people are looking for cleanliness, and they may get great service, they may get a great food, but if something's not clean, that's a big priority now, more than ever.
More than ever. And interestingly, oh gosh, I'm sorry. I don't know what is going on today. It wasn't happening when we did our test. What I find interesting too is that people always look at bathroom designs. Like when, even beyond, of course, cleanliness is a given, but that the bathroom is a very important part of the experience. People go check out bathrooms. That I think what your bathroom looks like in terms of design, as well as naturally how clean it is, especially now with COVID, is something that can be a huge plus to contribute to the highlight of your restaurant or your hotel or any business, right? If it's a bathroom for your guests or for your customers, your clients. But of course, if it's dirty, then forget it. But if it's really a dump and you've spent all your energy elsewhere, that's really going to look bad on your business. So I think it's awesome that you include that and make sure that's an important part of your process that you check.
Yes, I mean, it's basically, I say the whole process is basically the answer. It's not like you're just walking in the door and we're looking at one thing. We're looking at the whole picture. So we're looking at a customer's perspective of the whole business.
The entire customer journey.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I had fun when I lived in New York City, and I have a friend who had a mystery shopping business. And when she didn't have someone to fill in at the end of the month and she needed another visit, she would always call me to do it, because she knew, because of my upbringing in the service industry, that those things were just second nature. And it was really fun to do it. I kind of do it naturally. Sometimes my family's like, turn off the work, and I'm like, it's not work, it's just a part of who I am. I can't help it. I notice if food's cold when it should be warm, or they don't come back, or like all these just details. It's just second nature. But so speaking of me doing it in New York, what about you, where you live, and what geographic locations do you serve?
Well, I live in Phoenix, Arizona. Okay. I'm originally from Denver, but I don't miss the snow. So,
Yeah, I'm with you.
but right now, since COVID, we have mainly stayed in the Arizona area, Phoenix area. However, the growth for my business is to get back out of state again. I haven't done a lot of things on the East Coast. However, someday that's it's something I'm looking forward to. West Coast is mainly my priority for this year. So, when COVID hit, it was kind of every state is different. So it's very difficult for the hospitality industry for me to know what is going on in this state and what's going on in another state. So we've basically stayed in the Arizona area so that I'm at least, we're at least familiar about what's going on now. There's a lot of again, the big thing for me is that family-owned businesses, struggled so much, and I'm so love to help them because we want these small business owners to stay in business. So, I mean, the large ones will probably come out fine. Yes, they'll have some issues, but they'll be able to, we get big customers back with different forms of marketing the other resources for family-owned businesses just isn't there. So yes, that's the goal.
Yeah. Okay, that's great. And do you offer any other services or beyond the mystery shopping?
Yes, and actually, when COVID hit, we hit a little bit more on takeout. For takeout restaurants for food or cold food, no utensils, those types of things. So that's a good thing. Added that to my business, so we can do those also, either included in the shop or separate. We work with them. We do customized reporting. All of our people are from the hospitality industry that we hire. A lot of times, if possible, I do the first shop. I offer complimentary shops because I want to see what you're doing at the very beginning so that I know when we're doing that customized report what things are different about your business than someone else. Name tags, uniforms, those types of things. So we offer marketing assistance. We also offer training assistance. It's all about what happens on that report. What are you doing well in? What are you not? I mean, some of the last clients that I've had, I mean, we helped them a lot to explain to them that, they had theft at the bar, and it's like, that's costing you a lot of money and you're losing revenue, just in that area itself. Or, the other things were you have people walking out the door with alcohol in their hands. That's a legal thing. I mean, there's so many little things. Your staff isn't upselling, all of those things. It's huge. Mystery shopping isn't just always about, you're walking in, you fill in a report. This is something that's going to help you learn, how to, first it's going to be returning customers and referring customers, but it is also about, your revenue. That's the goal. The goal is, hey, you know what, this is going to increase your revenue.
Yeah. Wow. I love it. You really touched on so many critical points. And I just want to encourage everybody to really give this mystery shopping consideration if you haven't, because as you just heard from Debbie, I mean, the depth of knowledge that you'll get about your place. And then you have to be open to hearing it and receiving it with no ego, and understand that this is just information that's an opportunity for you to improve your business. I just believe so strongly in it, and I love it. So speaking of loving that, what is it that you love most about what you do?
I guess the thing that I love most is that I love the interaction with the clients. And the one thing that is unique about my businesses versus a large company, and I mean, that's not always going to happen, but I personally really like talking to clients. I'm working out their problems and going through the customized report with them directly, or speaking with them on the phone. I'm kind of a hands-on person more. I'm not good with the whole virtual thing. I prefer speaking to people face to face. So that's been a huge struggle for me. However, I think that, I do think that that's a big plus for me, because a lot of times it's me actually speaking to them directly and explaining the whole system, where you work with larger companies and they don't have time for that. They're not, the people that they hire aren't always necessarily trained in the hospitality industry. So we pay our people, we do different things to make sure that they are trained correctly. We want you to, we want all those questions answered. We don't want just yes or no. We want comments. We want to know details about what's going on in that business. One of my favorite quotes, I guess, would be, a happy customer is a returning customer. And, I'm also a big fan of Chef Hyken. And it's like, he always gives me some inspiration every day. So,
yeah. And I would add to that, that a happy customer is a returning customer, but it's also, very importantly, a referring customer.
Right.
And so, it's those referrals that bring in new business, while the repeat business is crucial, so that you're not out marketing and spending money and time and energy on always chasing a new customer. So really, really important. So, and one last question is, do you think that you have a superpower? Like, what, everybody's got their own superpower. What do you think your superpower is, and how it's helping clients most?
Well, I think that basically our uniqueness helps us, and be better at what we do, I guess, if that's what you're looking for. It's making sure that things are done correctly, and, helping you increase your revenue. That's what we're there for. I just think it's a big picture. And, if you have multiple locations, one location may do fine, one location may not. There's a lot of different, systems going. First, you have different employees, you have different teams, you have different management. So a lot of it is spending time with business owners or CEOs, or even operations directors, whoever takes the time, that can take the time to visit those locations, to see exactly what, is happening in their facilities, or in their business, in their restaurant. I want them to see the same things as we see. I think that the more we point it out to them, they're more visible. For me, because I do mystery shop, I'm not the best person to go out to dinner with, because I really.
That's it. Me and you both. I bite my tongue throughout from the moment we walk in.
I can't, necessarily perfectionist. However, I do think that, things should be better, and there's no reason why they shouldn't be. And customers expect that, and the customers expect that more now than ever. And why can't you be that way? I guess the question is why. What is holding your business back? And we are there to show you that, that these are the things that are holding your business back.
Right. And it is such a simple answer. What's holding it back is, kind of doing a full loop here, is that you're not taking the time to educate and train your people. And if you started with that, the experience would be great. They would enjoy their jobs more, and the customers would enjoy engaging with them more. And it just becomes this perfect cycle that, with the way I see it, the way things need to be. And as much as I have a critical eye, and like you, very, attention to detail, at the same time, when things are great, I compliment them, and I let them know, you are a fantastic server, or you are fantastic, whatever their job is, whatever they're doing, you're awesome. Thank you so much. We had that the other night, and it was such a breath of fresh air. So rare to find that. And nothing was a problem. Everything was, sure, no problem. I'll be right. I'll bring that to you right away. I'll be right back. And sure enough, I didn't have to ask 5 times for the same thing. I went, this is amazing. And these people really need you, Debbie. But I went to a small restaurant here, downtown.
Mhm.
The owners, the two owners, work the outside right now, and both of them managed in one visit to be nasty and shed some negative energy our way. I mean, really, it just, commenting on when you ask for no dressing on the salad after you've already said to them you just want it clean with olive oil and lemon or
Right.
whatever, something simple. He's like, another modifier, and it's like, really? It's a touch of your on his computer, it was a touch of no dressing, and instead he makes your customer feel like, oh God, here you are modifying something. Oh, it's, causing trouble.
Right.
It
Right.
just blew me away that this is the owner and this is what they're doing. And then the same thing with the other guy, the other owner, something else came up and it was just like this negative energy. And I was like, what is the
Right.
point? Like, what's the point?
Right. Well,
So
and the big things are not usually the things that we see that are the problems. A lot of times it's the small things. So rude. It's the little things. It's not it's maybe the dressing was or the salad was prepared correctly, but the server didn't smile and was very distant. And those are the little things.
yeah,
You walk in the hotel and nobody can look up, over their computer. They're looking down at their computer the whole time, and they never greet you when you walk in the door. It's very small things, and I
it
try to
is.
explain to everybody, small things are the problem. So yeah.
Yeah. The smallest things have the biggest impact, how I
They
feel
do.
very much. And those are the things that people just feel. They don't even necessarily notice them consciously. It's things that they take in subconsciously. So Debbie, I
Right.
want to, we're at the end of our time here. Oh, we have one comment. Awesome. Thank you, Robbie. He said, thank you for sharing your expertise today.
That's great.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us, Robbie. I know you're always a great, consistent person who engages with us here, and I appreciate you. So thank you. So we're going to wrap up. I'm going to show everyone here. You can reach out and connect with Debbie here on LinkedIn. I have her address up on the screen. So reach out, connect with her, talk to her about what's going on with you, how her mystery shopping services may be of benefit. Just have that conversation. You just never know what could come of that. So we're going to be closing out. Debbie, thank you for joining us. Any closing words or thoughts?
If you need to know anything more about your mystery shopping experiences or more about us, please check our website, theheartexperience.com. It tells more about what we offer. We do offer, small packages, large packages, whatever works for your business.
There we go. The Heart Experience, HART, theheartexperience.com.
Yes.
Terrific. Thank you.
Thank you
Thank you
so
so much
much.
for being with me today.
Thank you.
Mhm. So thank you everyone for joining. That was really interesting. And I hope you took a lot from that. Whether you use a mystery shopping service or not, there's so much that you could take from that conversation to try to apply directly into your business. And it doesn't matter if you're in hospitality or in the restaurant industry. This really applies to any business. Like Debbie said, she even works with car dealers, right? So it's anywhere that you're going to have customers. And of course, if you have customers, you have employees, which is why I feel so strongly that it's the employee experience that connects directly to the customer experience. So stay tuned. Next week, we have another guest on Thursday, same time, same place, for our Riffs with Jill Raff Celebrity Customer Experience Show. And also on Tuesdays for Tuesday Takeaways, just a quick little short live there to talk about experiences, stories, things that we have where we can all learn and benefit and contribute. So thanks again for joining, and we'll see you again next week.